Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I just wanted to start off today's video by saying welcome back and a big thanks to all my new subscribers. I just passed 300 a couple days ago, and subscribing shows me that I'm doing a good job and that the internet likes what I'm putting out there. So thanks. It gets me closer to my first YouTube goal of 500 subscribers. As it turns out, most of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribers, so if you're not one of the 300 yet, what are you waiting for? It costs you nothing, and it gives a stranger on the internet a sweet, sweet hit of dopamine. And, I mean, isn't that the least you can do in exchange for free content? On this 3-day adventure, we're doing a quick overnight in Williams Hill in the Central Valley of California on our way to a concert at the Madonna Inn and the windswept beach of Oceano Dunes State Park. Having gotten a late start from San Francisco earlier that day, we pulled into Williams Hill just as the sun was going down. Not wanting to have to make camp in the dark, and intending to sleep in our cars just to make things more efficient, we pulled into the first appealing camp spot that we saw, got a fire going, and made some dinner as the sun set. Although San Louis Obispo is only 4 hours away from San Francisco, I'll take any excuse to camp, and I'd been wanting to check out this free land for a while, so we decided to come down to Williams Hill to break up the drive south.
Good morning. So here we are. We're inside my car camper, and we're up here at Williams Hill Recreation Area, which is some Bureau of Land Management land. My buddy Vincent and I drove up here last night because we're on our way down to San Louis Obispo. We're going to go see a band called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard at a place called the Madonna Inn, which is like an old kitschy, ridiculous hotel. You'll see when we get there. This is the sort of setup here in the car. It was just easier to sleep in the car tonight than it was to set up a whole tent and everything. This kind of just shows you a little bit of how I would set it up to actually sleep in. Right there is my Dometic fridge. Underneath the fridge down here is my Jackery, which is what powers the fridge when the car is off. And then when the car is on, the Jackery is plugged into the car. There's my evening entertainment up there on top of the fridge. Down here in this corner is where I would store the food bin that's outside right now. And will be where that'll be where it goes when I put it back. There's just some extra blankets and duffel bags of clothes and stuff down there. That is a inflatable light, and then I just hang my car keys right there for the evening so I can lock up and open and close the tailgate. You can see all the WeatherTech window covers in the windows, and then I also have one of these little window socks, but because the sun rose on this side of the car and it's so bright, I kept the window cover up.
dang shell casings.
I mean, I honestly don't mind people coming out here to shoot, but it does bother me when I get somewhere and all I find are like spent shell casings.
Yep.
And like, I appreciate the fact that you can come out here and like put a target on a tree to shoot guns at it. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't bother me for some reason.
I totally get that.
Sun's getting hot. It's time to switch hats, put these chairs together, and get some breakfast going. I picked up these folding camp chairs from Big Agnes a while back, and they've vastly improved my camp setup. They're quick to put together and pack away relatively small, plus they've got armrests with cup holders, something you don't always see in a compact folding camp chair. I put the tennis balls on the feet so that they don't sink in surfaces like loose dirt or sand. It's a good thing I always have two of them with me in my roam boxes, because Vinny forgot his. After breakfast, we packed up camp and decided to keep driving up the road that led us to last night's camp spot. Well, this is probably where we should have camped last night. The top of Williams Hill is home to a not very photogenic collection of towers and outbuildings, but the view of the surrounding Central Valley was infinite and inspiring. After spending some time exploring the remote buildings and enjoying the view, it was time to head down the hill to San Louis Obispo and the Madonna Inn. King Gizzard awaits. After a blur of an evening at the Madonna Inn, I said goodbye to Vinny and headed down Highway 1 to Oceano Dunes, just south of Obispo Beach. Driving on the beach felt, honestly, unnatural at first. I could feel the tires shifting more than on solid ground, and groups of snowy plovers and huge piles of kelp up and down the coastline were new obstacles to avoid. But man, was it fun. After a couple laps up and down the beach and some sand driving shenanigans, this seems like as good a spot as any to park the car and settle in for a relaxing evening. After settling on a spot, I roll the car onto these RV leveling blocks. These make the back of the Rav4 more level than it normally is, and it makes the height of the hatch taller when it's open, so I'm not always banging my head on it. When camping in the back of the car, the load 4 has a natural slant to it, and this helps compensate for that. They also act as a traction aid when I want to move the car again, in case the sand shifts while I'm parked here. Once I got the Rav nice and level, I set about putting up some shade, but the wind on the beach proved a worthy adversary. This King Camp awning, which I'll link my review video to, is great shelter in low wind situations, but it can become a kite very easily, especially if you're only setting it up by yourself. After battling the wind and finally getting settled, my camera battery died just in time for the wind to completely undo all my work and force me to take shelter in the car instead. Alright, that's enough loafing around. It's time to cook some dinner. First things first, we gotta get our ingredients out of the fridge. That there is a Dometic 35-liter 12-volt refrigerator. At first, when I started hearing about 12-volt refrigerators, I thought, that is the dumbest, bougiest thing you could ever have. But the more I thought about it, the more I wanted one. As you can see here, I've got a bottle of wine, some cream for my coffee, a whole pound of coffee, some beers, and the ingredients for tonight's dinner, with a bunch of room left over. The drawbacks of a traditional cooler, having to get ice, having that ice take up more than half the real estate inside your cooler, having that ice eventually melt and get your stuff all soggy and slosh around in the back of the car making noise, having to drain that cold ass water and get more ice, all of those things disappear with a car refrigerator. This one being 35 liters has enough room in it for a solo trip or for two people for a couple days, but if I had to do it again, I'd probably try to go for something at least 55 liters. Dual zone ones exist if you want a freezer side, so you can do that too, and though this one is just a single zone, it can go all the way down to freezing if you wanted to use it to store like fish you just caught or a bunch of ice cream sandwiches or something. On the menu for tonight, salmon tacos, sponsored by Trader Joe's.
That was quite the evening. I fell asleep in front of the campfire listening to the ocean, and now I'm just chilling in the car. The sun's coming up, as you can see here. The sun's coming up behind me.
Morning, neighbor. Guess I'll head home, I suppose. Pack up the car and get back on the road. decided to take the scenic route back up Highway 1 through Big Sur. Williams Hill was nice and all, but I did feel a pang of regret when I drove up one of the mountain dirt roads in Big Sur to have lunch and wondered why we didn't just camp here on the way down to San Louis Obispo. This whole area has been affected by huge wildfires over the past several years, so it was good to be back in Big Sur, and I'm sure I'll be back soon, perhaps later this summer. Well folks, I'm going to leave you here at McWay Falls. As always, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.